Okay.
It's not creepy at all.
Nope.
So Craig has now joined us and is recording, so we are on record now. So Rebecca, behave. This is the May council meeting for Awaken the North. We have the Chancellor of Member Affairs, Anya, is present. We have our Hydrite and Cal present. We have our Chancellor of Public Affairs, Carrie, who is present. Our scribe, Laurel, is present. And of course, I'm here, Go the Beast. We also have a couple chairs in residence tonight. We've got Sarah, who is the chair of social media. We've got Kat, who is the chair of the Merchants Guild.
And
what did I miss?
I have our Chancellor of Military Services.
Oh, yes, Rebecca, Chancellor of Military Services.
One you just told to behave.
Right. She is here as well. Gonna go ahead and call the meeting to order. At the moment, Carrie is away from the keyboard shortly. She'll be back in a minute and be able to join.
No, I'm here. I'm
You
here.
are back. Okay.
Yeah.
Carrie's back. Awesome. Okay, so over this last month since our last meeting, you guys have been doing awesome. I've been really pleased with the amount of activity that you guys have drummed up. Actually, I should say you ladies, because as of right now, I'm the only guy here. So yeah, you lot have drummed up some pretty decent interactions. We have had our daily readings of the Egil Saga come to an end, as most stories do. I am planning on starting up the daily posting of the Saga of Burnt Nell next. We'll go through that one in the members group. We currently have need still for a treasurer because we do not have a treasurer. So we need to get that resolved as quickly as possible. If anyone knows anyone who at this point can add 2 + 2 and is not dyslexic, then shit, have them fill out an application. We'll see what we can do.
Has a computer.
What's that?
And has a computer.
Yes, and has a computer, as Laurel says, not just a cell phone or a tablet. Treasurer needs to have an actual computer.
What about an abacus?
No. They can have one, but as long as it's not the only thing they have, we're good.
Okay.
Anya, how are you?
Good.
Good. Do you have an idea of how many new folks we've added to the official members ranks this last month?
Ooh. Hold on, I will take a look here.
Okay. Have you had
Off the top of my head, I would say at least 10. I think it might be more than that.
More than that. Have you had to decline any this month?
Yes. Was one that was declined because she did not bother to actually answer the questions twice.
Oh yes, that wife.
Yeah, and it seemed pretty obvious that she was only applying in order to advertise.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. Yep. I wasn't aware at the time that neither of them are actually heathen. After conversations with him, he's not heathen either. Really not quite sure why he's in the group to begin with, but he's got some interesting ideas and interacts with folks, so he's definitely handy to have around. But
might diverge that way.
Yep. I have no idea.
So in the last 30 days, there have been 21 members added.
Nice. That's more than the 10 you were thinking. Look at you.
Yeah, well, 21 apps approved, so.
Awesome.
Yes.
That is awesome. Are you getting any feedback from the welcome emails?
Nope. Thus far, I've not ever gotten a response to them.
Okay.
But I think the way they're worded, they're pretty straightforward, and everybody gets the information they need to jump in and get started.
Right. They do get a second email from me about 3 weeks after as a follow-up. I haven't heard anything back from any of those either, so I don't know.
I
if
have
people-
noticed more recent applications that we've been getting, especially the ones that have been generated through social media like TikTok. They tend to follow through with immediately requesting access to the members group on Facebook as well. So I'm really glad to see that. I want to bring back my weekly, at least bi-weekly member check-ins, just to kind of give people a spot to, celebrate or vent or whatever they need to, and give us a chance to get to know each other as people and not just random faces on the internet.
Sounds good. Awesome. Anything else from your position that you'd like to report on?
No, everything's been good. And, the few times where I have had a debate with myself on whether someone should be accepted, you guys have provided really good feedback, so I appreciate that.
Awesome. Let's move on to Cal, our hydrating.
1 second, I got a phone call.
Let's move on to Carrie,
Hello.
our Chancellor of Public Affairs. How are you?
Well, all right, I guess. Yeah. Hanging in there.
That's the way to be.
I'm sorry?
I said that's the way to be.
Yeah. Lots of crazy on this end. So, I have in my notes, and I haven't forgotten, I just haven't been able to access it. I still want to do that survey of members on how they, opportunities to interact and get people interacting more, and what would encourage them to interact more, of a personal outreach really than a survey. But
Okay.
when you sent me a link, and I'm sorry I can't remember what it was to, but you sent me a link to something where you said I should be able to see their emails,
Yes.
and it said I needed a login.
Right. That's your
And I don't-
login for the website.
And how would I know what that is? I don't mean to be dumb.
When you go into awakenthenorth.org and log in as a member, it's the email address
It's
and
the
password.
same one?
Yeah,
Okay.
should be the same one.
And if I need to reset that,
We can reset that
that-
for you.
I'm sorry?
We can do that for you. Not a problem.
Okay.
Yep. That's a Chris thing.
That was my question, was
Yep.
should I talk to Chris about that if I can't get in? So
Yep.
It looks like, wait, okay, now that you clarified that for me, it looks like I can get in.
Okay. And you should see what the member registry coming soon. And you should see what looks like an Excel spreadsheet with member ID, legal name, preferred name, all that jazz.
Yep.
If you
I
scroll,
can get in now.
if you scroll all the way down to the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
all the way down to the all the way bottom, 267 registered members. That square down at the bottom that starts with the co-op at Awaken the North.
Okay.
All of those are the email addresses for all 267 members.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
can,
I appreciate that clarification. I just got a little confused.
Yep, not a problem.
So,
if you see like number 267, since this is recorded, we're going to not talk the information itself. But 267, you see how their name is blue?
Yes.
Click on their name.
Okay.
That brings up, oh wow, this one's right here. The latest member we have is right here in, oh my gosh, Laurel. This is the young lady at Michael's that we just talked
Wait.
to.
Wait.
Awesome.
Apparently, our local Michael's Arts and Craft is where we go to meet heathens.
Well, yeah.
Fabulous.
Yeah. Sorry, this just made me giggly because this is
No,
the
that's cool.
I
That's
just talked to her. I
groovy.
didn't realize she actually applied, so that's awesome. But what I was
Yes.
going to say is, on this here, it
Also,
shows you their name.
Real
and
quick, looking
their-
at something else on the website.
What's that?
On the calendar, we have the remembrances.
Right.
We've got a bit of a typo there.
Okay. Give me just a
Just
second.
pointing it out.
Sure. On her information here, you can see her email address. So
Yes.
if you want to reach out to her directly, click on her name and it'll bring up their email address and all their
Yes.
information there. So
Yeah.
if you want to talk to everybody all at once, you can just copy paste the entire registry list there at the bottom. If you want to contact specific people, just click on their name and it'll bring you into their specific things. So
Yeah.
okay.
Hey, Casey.
Yeah.
Is that where people are going to be able to like update their addresses too when they move?
No. That's gonna be a different place once Chris gets that figured out.
Okay, good.
He's still working on that part. It's going to be another form on the website where you submit the form and then it goes through and updates this information. So,
Gotcha.
so okay.
And that's it for me.
Okay. And then you said there's a typo on the website.
Yes, on the calendar, it's got the remembrances,
Oh yeah, I found it too.
and the word remembrance is misspelled.
Oh, okay. I'll fix that later on.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure it was brought to someone's attention.
I appreciate that. Good looking out.
Hey,
All right.
anytime.
Cal, are you still on the phone, honey?
No, I finished my call. It was with the VA, so it was very short to remind me for the 7th time I have an appointment.
Got it. At
In
10:30
case
at
you
night.
forgot.
I don't really have anything to report. There's been some questionable things, but to be fair, those questionable things are all like located in the same section in the same channel, and it is the adult not safe for work channel. And it's usually I'm like, you know what? If it's okay, it's in the right place, and honestly,
Yeah.
I think I'm just being overcautious. So yeah, as long as nobody's been upset as far as I can tell.
I have that channel muted. So I don't
It's
even.
a weird place.
Yeah. That's why.
It is sometimes.
Like I usually, make sure everybody's happy, and then once I've kind of perused, I go in there, and sometimes, well, there's an alarming number of penises, but that's just alarming in general. But no, it's been all right. Like, I think the only one I was kind of questionable about actually turned out to be people thought it was hilarious. So I'm like, okay, cool. People have a sense of humor, and that is good.
Yeah.
And nobody's been getting any fights. It's weird.
Yeah.
So nice.
I used to-
Wait, heathens can play nice together? What?
Anya hasn't been on much, so no one's fighting. So it's
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Fighting.
I am a feisty one sometimes. Damn.
we love
yes.
you. You know it.
I'm just a very protective mama bear of my people.
Yeah, the only
Don't mess with
problem
my
child-
people.
The only problem child we have left is Anya, and
Eh.
that's unfortunate. But
But you can't get rid of me.
I
True.
don't know.
I have tenure. I don't know.
Do we have a way to remove somebody from the council and the group all at once? Like,
We do.
shit,
In special occasions, we can call a vote, but it has to go through a populist vote, and I just don't want to set that up. So I'd rather just deal with her
and I hate democracy.
because that's a lot of work.
I thought we were a police state. But no, everything's been good. So yeah, that's all I got.
Anya, I still love you.
Aw, thank you.
Well, what's not to love about Anya? Come on.
True.
Exactly.
Don't let her fool you. You think, oh,
Regardless
this
of
is
what
just
Beast says.
the rough getting to know her. She's been like this since I've known her the entire time. She's
What's
the
it been?
worst.
10 years?
It's been over a decade. Your child was small at some point.
It
Now
was
she's an
3.
adult. Yeah,
Jeez.
that doesn't make me feel old.
Moving
Anyway.
on. Laurel, our lovely scribe.
Yes.
Do you have anything that you'd like to discuss?
Just that I would like to see, like we've discussed, portions of proceeds from certain items going to certain charities, and that's not listed. That's not reflected in the store.
I need to update that. Yep. Eight products. For those who may not know, our Regenboy 8 products, Rainbow Clan products, a portion of the sales from those products are donated each month to the allgowithyou.org organization. They're ones who are the straight allies supporting the transgender folks going to the bathroom. And they sell buttons that you can wear to notify others that if you do not feel safe going to the restroom that you need to go to, that we'll go with you and watch your back while you're in there. We won't watch you, but we'll watch your back and
Yeah.
keep you safe while you're in there. It's a really awesome organization. And I decided a while ago that our Regnably It stuff will go to there for 2021. 2022, we'll probably pick a different worthy organization and start supporting them either in place of or as well, depending on how well the sales go. So,
Hey, it's nice to be able to do some good out there.
it is. It really is. Anything else, Laurel?
I don't think so, unless we wanted to expand on that concept and, a portion of Shield Maidens go to a women's charity and a portion of Shield Wall goes to something anti-racist.
We could definitely do that. That's an excellent idea. Does anyone have a women's related charity that's near and dear to their heart?
Well, locally we've got the Dove Center. My suggestion would be a women's organization that directly benefits those who are escaping domestic violence.
We have one here in Milwaukee called the Sojourner Truth House that is a shelter for women and children. They also work with the local Humane Society to place any pets in basically protective custody. So if a woman needs to leave with her kids, she doesn't have to worry about what's going to happen to her pets. She can take them with her. And the Humane Society will come get them. They're not like, they don't put them out for adoption or anything. It's like a foster care.
Like a boarding. Okay. Carrie, spell Milwaukee for me.
MILWAUKEE.
Seriously, Casey, you lived in Idaho and Boise. We had Milwaukee Street.
I know, but I never go down that neighborhood.
Well, I mean, there is a Milwaukee, Oregon, but that ends with an IE. So
Yeah. I just want to make sure I
Also,
said it because I couldn't, my brain wouldn't spell it. So, all right.
it's also the name of a popular brand of power tools.
Yeah.
there
I'll
you
look it
go.
up and see what information I can find on them, and we can go from there.
A not so popular brand of beer.
Old Milwaukee?
Well, that's stretching it just a little bit.
Yeah, that is.
Old Milwaukee it's a drink, yeah, but
It's sort of beer.
no,
It's kind of beer.
right. And then this is probably the completely wrong group to ask this of, but what about organizations for Shield Wall?
Southern Poverty Law Center.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're a
Do-
good one.
Well,
Real good one.
yeah, Southern Poverty Law Center is an awesome place, and they do amazing work, and I love them to pieces. They are big, and they get donations from tons of folks.
The other
What-
one I suggest, and I'm going to have to Google it real quick. There's an organization that gives assistance and like law advice and whatnot to those that have been wrongfully convicted and imprisoned to get their cases reopened and re-examined. There's
What I would
unfortunately a lot of those cases in the African American community in particular, so good one too.
Laura, what were you saying?
I think that one's called the Justice Project. My concern, and I have a couple thoughts on it. When you donate to the big national ones, they then have the ability to forward that on to smaller foundations that need the money and the assistance. And it also, I think it goes a ways to say, to prove that we care about not being racist.
Okay.
When we donate to these groups that are out there that are rightly identifying racist symbols that have come from heathen culture, and they're right in saying that these are, hey, this is iconography that's used by the right wing. But they also say, but it has, other roots.
Right.
And we want to support that.
Right. My concern isn't supporting them for what they do or not supporting them for what they do or anything like that. Like I said, the Southern Poverty Law Center is a good organization. I like them a lot. My thought is to find a smaller group that might benefit better from our paltry donations. Because I mean, I wasn't aware that Southern Poverty forwarded donations onto other groups, so that's information that I didn't have. But our $5-10 a month going to Southern Poverty isn't going to make any difference at all to their books. But some of the smaller groups, our $5-10 a month could like seriously help them out a lot more than going to one of the big national changes. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It would be,
At the same time, the big groups get, 4 donations like ours, and then can combine them and forward them onto someone else to be $20 a month instead of $5 a month.
yeah. I mean, if they're
$5 a
forwarding them,
month
then
envelopes.
yeah, if they're forwarding them, then yeah, that's fine. I've got no problem with it at all. Okay, so Southern Poverty Law Center.
Also, just to kind of add into this,
Uh-huh.
The Southern Poverty Law Center does a lot of things. They do a lot with court cases, both for racism and for cases that are because of racial prosecution. So in it kind of aids that other charity, or it does a function similar to the other charity of helping fight
Right.
the sometimes corrupt legal system. There's also a big push for education with them. So help by donating to them, it kind of, yeah, they're a big entity, but by donating to them, we kind of spread it out, our small amount, more widely and help a little bit of everybody, which, I mean, there's so many people donating to them already. A little bit from everybody does actually a lot in the long run.
Yeah, multifaceted.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, I'm down with it. I've got no problem with them. So I wasn't aware that they shared the wealth per se. So that works out good. I think that's a good group to support there then. So we'll tomorrow I will contact the Sojourn. You said the Sojourn of Truth House in Milwaukee.
No, Sojourner Truth. It's named
Sojourner.
after a conductor on the Underground Railroad.
I
Oh.
think I've got possibly their website here. I'm posting it for see if Carrie says it's the right one.
Okay, awesome.
Yep. I'm pretty sure. Let me see.
They're involved with domestic
No.
violence and such.
They are, but this is not the one.
Okay.
Can you post a link for us, Carrie?
Yeah.
That way I can contact them and find out what we need to do to start helping support them too.
This one's in Rhode Island, apparently.
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
maybe is the Sojourner Family Peace Center?
That is part of, that's one of their ministries, if you would want to call it that. Yes. They're, that apparently is their website now, Sojourner or FamilyPeaceCenter.org.
Oh. FamilyPeaceCenter.org. Okay. Great. And then Southern Property Law Center for the shield wall stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Laurel, anything else?
I don't think so.
Okie dokie. That brings us to the ever so loverly Littlehammer. Rebecca, our Chancellor of Military Services.
Hello.
Hello.
So the only updates that I have is AJ got his letter. He already has the other necessary information that he needs to proceed with his packet. So he's good to go. I've been in contact with Joe about his letter. He knows that I'm going to start on it Thursday. I'm just trying to get my schoolwork done so I can put my full attention towards his letter and hopefully have something banged out for him by the weekend, which brings me to the regulations. So I recently found a updated version of the beard policies for the Navy that are as current as possibly was it less than a year? Let me see. It was updated in 2020. The original language for that, which probably doesn't mean anything to anybody, but the original one that was given to me was from 2016 or 2017, something like that. But I did find something that was updated. Okay, so it just turned a year old, so it's just shy of a year old for this instruction. As far as the other branches are concerned, Joe obviously included that in his criteria. Thank you, Beast, for updating that. That was a huge help. So I'm going to get all of the branches regulations as far as facial hair or beards and save them on my computer. I don't really care about the Space Force. Just kidding. I don't think that we're going to have anybody from the Space Force, but whatever, if there is someone cool. The only questions that I have as far as my position is concerned is the first question, where are we on official letterheads?
We don't officially have official letterheads yet. If you'd like to create one, go ahead and make one up and send it to me.
Sure.
We kind of have one at the moment. At least I have one at the moment that you guys should be seeing here soon. Finn got theirs today. The rest of you should be getting yours, I'm assuming, tomorrow.
Mail.
So if you want to take a look at that and give me input, I can modify those to each chancellor and send you the file to have it for yourself.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you want to just make one of your own, feel free to dabble and doodle and come up with something pretty, and we'll look at it
I
and
think
make sure it works.
I think in this case, given the environment it's you're trying to communicate to, it might just
Mhm.
be best to copy the look of the Department of the Navy's one that they use already. I mean, we can change the color, but that kind of simple style
Yeah,
to make it look more in line with the documents they're normally dealing with.
Right. And what I sent AJ was just the logo on our website and put that at the top and left it at that because we didn't have any official letterhead at the time. And I didn't want to put something that was real flashy because I mean, you've dealt with it. You've dealt with it before. I'm sure you've seen enough paperwork that it's not really flashy. It just looks like,
It's
it's
just
very
blue text that says
right.
Department of the Navy. It's
Right.
so basic.
Yeah. Nice and boring and to the point.
you
Okay.
want
I
to
will.
for military that is simplified, then by all means go for it. Have a
Oh,
black.
Beast, I gotta share this with you because it just shows you how the simpler way you approach things when sending documents to the military.
Right.
I got out of the Navy like 11 years ago now. Doing the job I do now as a civilian, the website, everything about it didn't change in 11 years.
Nice.
Every exact format hasn't changed. And it blew my mind.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
Plus
So
carry.
so I guess with that, wait, who was just speaking? Cal, were you just speaking?
Yes.
Okay. Would you mind helping me with that? Just because I don't do the whole like I'm just gonna know I'm gonna have trouble with this and yeah, you know how much I love the Navy, so there's that.
Uh, I can make a letterhead and put it in the council discussion tomorrow.
Okay. I don't really have anything on my computer that I mean, I have Publisher, but I guess I could fool around with Publisher. I don't know.
Do you have Word? I'll just do it in
Yes,
that.
I do have Word.
We'll make it simple, like the normal one.
Nice. Okay. So my next question, wait, was that, yeah, okay. So
Real
my
quick
next
before
question,
you go on to the next
what?
question.
Yeah.
One
So
is reference.
I
as
think
far,
Hold on, Rebecca.
it's glitching. It's glitching.
Okay, hold on a second. Take a breath, honey. It's okay. One of the things she was discussing is she and I worked together on putting a new form on the website for active duty military who are requesting beard accommodations that has the spaces to fill out for name, rank, serial number, where you at, contact information, how long you've been a heathen, what's your commanding officer's contact information, what's chaplain's information, all the stuff that she needs to be able to help facilitate getting the accommodations and putting paperwork through is on the website now. So if anyone comes to any of you guys, knowing that you're council members, and says, "Hey, I need a beard accommodation for such and such," direct them to Rebecca, and Rebecca will get them to the website to fill out the form and all that fun jazz. With that, however, there has been some conversation in some of the other organizations about length of time and I guess I'll say testing people to make sure that they actually are heathens, not just wanting to grow a beard and using the heathen bandwagon to get the accommodations to be able to grow beards.
So I don't know if that's going to be a actual problem because the religious accommodation already exists.
But it kind
It just
of
doesn't apply to this religion.
right. And a lot of people, the process of getting the accommodation to grow a beard in many of the branches is very difficult. And people are flocking to other organizations, we're not big enough, I guess, or we're not as big as some of the others out there that are fielding multiple requests each week to have the accommodation to be able to grow a beard. And they're finding that there is a percentage of those out there who are playing at being heathen just because they want to have a beard. Last week, they tried to be Catholic because of this accommodation. Week before that, they were Mormon to get that accommodation. This week, they're heathen to get this accommodation. And they're bouncing back and forth, claiming to be the different religions and different special groups in order to get the accommodations that they want. What
No,
we
that was.
sorry?
Oh, I was. If you're not finished, I'll put myself on mute. I didn't mean to be rude.
Okay.
I was.
We figure out what kind of criteria we want to have as an organization to make sure that people are wanting the beard accommodations for the right reason.
I mean, that's a somewhat easy fix, I guess you could say. If you just put a restriction that, hey, you have to be a member of Awaken the North for X amount of months before we will represent you in this manner.
Right?
That way, we're not telling people how they have to practice or whatever.
That's how a lot of the other organizations are dealing with it as well. The general consensus that I've seen has been 90 days. You have to be an active member of Awaken the North for 90 days before you can request the beard accommodation. Does that sound fair to everybody?
That seems pretty standard.
Yeah. That's fine by me.
I kind of feel like an asshole now.
No, don't, because that was actually it was actually one of the next bunch of questions I was going to ask. And it's tied into the other questions that I still have on my list. But I don't think that that's unreasonable. It is something that's talked about with, oh, I'll just, because I've heard it at my command, oh, I'll just become pagan and grow a beard. And it's like, I can't sit there and I'm not going to question someone's religion or how long they've been practicing because maybe they've been in the closet with it. But it is something that's like, well, are you actually pagan, heathen, whatever on your path with the gods, or do you just not feel like shaving? So I don't think that it's unreasonable to put, I guess, for lack of better words, a trial period or a probationary period upon them being an active member in Awaken the North before I will go ahead and write a beard accommodation letter for somebody. I don't think that's unreasonable.
Right.
Are we gonna set up standards for what's considered active? I mean, I'm not trying to be pedantic here.
Oh no, that was
but
actually a thought that I had too.
The reason I ask is because we've had a rule in my kindred that before you get invited to our rituals, which are typically held on private property, you have to be active on the website for, I think it's 90 days. But no one's ever defined what is active. So all of a sudden we're, it's just, if we're going to have a rule, we should have a definition.
That's a good point. What do you think?
I think
should be?
I think that ultimately it's going to come down to a judgment call. Because if we could word it as such that we will not, after your 90 days, you can request this, but we are by no means required to grant it. If we determine, hey, you've only been here, but you've never spoken, or you've never interacted with people, and like nobody knows who you are, that's not showing that you're trying to interact. If you can only talk once in a while, that's fine because we can see you're trying. So ultimately, it's a judgment after 90 days.
Right.
Agree with that.
That's really we could use those, like both the Facebook groups and Discord, the search function. So
Right.
We could always plug their name in that, and if they at least come up once as having said or commented on something, they're not just a complete lurker.
And that's what I mean is like, it's we're putting the Awaken the North as a whole out there, saying, hey, we're backing you up, trying to get this accomplished. We support you, and we validate what you're trying to do. So it's kind of one of those things where ultimately it is our judgment that's going to define that. So it's I don't think it should be something that people join expecting to get necessarily.
Right.
Mhm.
And definitely put a disclaimer on that. That's a very good idea. I'll update the form itself, showing that must be a member for 90 days before filled out, and then at 90 days, pending council review or pending the chancellor's review, backing not guaranteed, must be found worthy, blah, blah, blah. I'll word it pretty nice, but yeah.
Maybe not put must be found worthy. I mean, I get it. It sounds good, but I worry somebody might get a little upset.
Can you lift this hammer?
I was about to say, will Mjolnir respond to you? Because if not, GTFO.
Exactly. We have no hammer.
I will make one.
I have
Hey.
They get the Mjolnir seal of approval, and if they get denied, they get the Mjolnir seal of disapproval.
there you go.
Ooh, yes. That
Okay.
turn into a
You got
verb.
more questions left.
You could
Are we
roll
all in agree? Are we all in agreement on that? Before I move on to my next question, I don't want to cut anybody off.
Nope, we're good.
Okay. As far as the structure of the letter, are we fine with do we want more of a structured layout that I can just plug and play? Or is everybody okay with me writing a custom letter for each person? Because we're not really, it's not like we're having an influx of 90 letters a week. It's like one here, one there.
I think honestly that is a you decision since you are the chancellor of that. If you want to take the time and have the time available to type out individual personalized letters for those who want it and still get them out in a timely manner, then hey, go for it. If things get to the point to where we're getting more and more each day and you don't have the time to sit and personalize each one, at that point, come up with a plug and play and let's go.
Sounds good. That's exactly what I was thinking.
The reason that each of you chancellors are the chancellors of what you chancel is because I have full faith in your abilities and your decision making in your positions to do what you need to do. I don't need to micromanage it. You guys are the experts at what you do, and that's why you guys are the ones doing it. So do it.
Hey.
Just do it.
Just do it. Okay, so next one was, and one of these was already answered. Denials of request. If I have that, I don't want to say power, but if I have the ability to, if I have the ability to deny request, we've just discussed like my first bullet point was the length of time being heathen, pagan, whatever. We already covered that. Like, be a part of Awaken the North for at least 90 days, and then you can submit something, and then we will consider it.
Right.
The other thing I was wondering is if they are in another group, and I'm not going to slam them.
Right.
But there is another group that I'm part of. It was unfortunately the first one. That there is a lot of negative, there's a lot of berating, a lot of gatekeeping, a lot of sometimes derogatory remarks. This also goes against, I believe there's actually something in the UCMJ because you can get in trouble for saying certain things on Facebook if it's reported to your command. If we are part of other groups and this person and someone applies to be part of Awaken the North and they do end up requesting a beard accommodation letter, I don't see why I couldn't deny it if I'm seeing patterns of derogatory behavior that not only is that going to make them look bad in the military, but if they're part of our organization as well, now they're requesting that we do this for them, it's going to make us look bad as well. And
Yeah,
maybe
that's-
okay. I was going to say maybe I'm falling down the rabbit hole, but if that sounds okay with you guys, then I just wanted to.
When it comes to paperwork, like the geared accommodation and once we get the training going, the go with our training course, things like that, we are not the Facebook police. No, we cannot, for the most part, judge people on what they say on other groups or on their own Facebook pages, things like that, for the general members. For anyone that is going to officially have our name attached to them, to have our sponsorship and our support, whether it's for a beard accommodation or for a
Ordination.
what's that, honey?
Ordination.
Nation. Yeah. Having ordination, anything that would officially make them part of us branded, then by all means, we are going to look at their online presence as a whole. And if they are behaving in Awake in the North, but being complete asshats on Pagans, Wiccans, Nostrils, or whatever other Facebook group, then no, sorry, we're not going to attach our name to you. And that is a perfectly fine reason to deny a request.
Awesome. All right, well that closes my book. That's all I had.
All right. Anyone have any questions for her?
I don't think so.
Fabulous.
Awesome.
Sweet.
All right. So we have a couple minutes left, and we have a chair who has graced us with her presence. Kit Kat.
Well, when was the last council meeting? Just so I know the dates.
Last month, it's on the website under council meetings.
There was no council meeting last month.
There wasn't
Was
one.
technically the month before.
It was the month before.
Crap. Okay.
Well,
So, in theory, Kat, they're supposed to happen the third Sunday of every month. But the problem is, I'm trying to herd cats. But they're not just cats. They're cats who are deceptive. It's
They're
a
Viking
deceptive
cats.
cat.
okay, well then I'll just go from the beginning of April. Since April 6th, we have gotten a total of 6 new merchants.
Awesome. Awesome.
One of them being our little hammer here.
Yay.
She's our newest one. And now since we have so many merchants, I went back to, for Merchant Mondays, I went back to just doing like spotlights again. And I'm doing only 3 at a time every Monday instead of doing, like, we don't have the tiers anymore. So I'm just choosing 3 at a time and to spotlight.
Okay. One thing I do want to do with that though is, even if it's 2 different posts, do the spotlight of the 3 and then do another post with just hey folks, these are all our merchants, and drop a link to their main website. Don't have to go into detail or put pictures with everything, just these are our current active merchants and this is how to find them.
Okay, so I have been doing that in my normal post. If you don't see that, it's a little bit further down after the spotlights.
Okay, then you're good.
Perfect.
Yeah, just as long as they get posted every week.
Yeah, I kind of saw what Anya was doing before and kind of just copied it.
That works.
I like the spotlight idea though, because that gives a little bit more
Right.
more detail about the specific merchants, which is good.
Yeah, I like just the 3. It's perfect. Except for on Twitter, it's a little hard to do any of the spotlights because of the word limit.
Twitter is so annoying.
But yeah, so we have a total of 6 new ones, new merchants. I haven't seen any new ones come in this month except for Rebecca's. So since then, we haven't had any new ones.
Okay. So get out there and drum up some.
Okay, I can do that.
Yep. Talk with the folks on other groups and talk with folks in our groups and say, hey, I know I had gotten with shit. Oh, I'm such a horrible friend.
Sylvia?
Yes, Sylvie with the doggo.
Yeah.
Did she ever end up filling out the app and doing all that?
Yeah, she's one of our 6.
Okay, groovy. I know Pupper's back in the hospital, is in a different hospital now.
Yep.
Yeah,
I saw that.
she's frantic trying to raise more money to help cover his bills. We do have Cymberlin in to where she's got her artwork up as well, so that's good. Yeah. Corvus. I'm still working on Corvus, trying to get him to actually fall in line and get his stuff up, because his stuff, if you haven't seen Corvus's stuff, his stuff is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get him on. Also,
What's he do?
what's that?
She asked what he does.
I'm sorry. He.
Corvus, as far as I know, Corvus is he. Corvus does CNC woodwork. He's got a CNC router and does amazing carvings of stuff.
I think
I
I want to say that's the one that posted not too long ago that had done an epoxy coating on top of one of their pieces. It turned out amazing.
If you see any of the videos of me doing my ceremonies, he actually made the wooden Mjolnir that I use during ceremonies. So it's pretty awesome. All right, anything else, Kat?
Nope, I'm done.
Okay. There was something else I was going to mention, but I'll be damned if I can remember what it was.
Your brain?
Yeah, that's gone. That was gone. I was doing the saga, and I'm going to get back into doing the sagas again with the daily posts on the members group. What other ideas can we do you think, to help learn, to help grow? Social interaction, but a lot of our folks don't know things.
So I got an
I
idea.
liked when we were going through the Havamal, like stanza by stanza in the Discord for a little while, if we did something like that in the Facebook group.
I have an idea too. I'll go last.
Kat, you had an idea?
Yeah, so I know that we have the Know Your Gods here in Discord,
Right.
but not everybody's in Discord, of course. So, like, maybe doing like a weekly spotlight of a gods, just gods and goddesses, so that you can just get more information, because not everybody knows all the gods.
Right. That's an excellent idea too. So
Especially some of the ones that are not as in the forefront, as it were.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Rebecca, you had an idea?
I'm raising my hand in the front. I'm on the step stool.
Uh-huh.
I know that Kurt does no, okay, this came out wrong. What about I feel like this is gonna sound so dumb. Like, not so much winning a moment or like a chunk of time from you, but you're the Chancellor of Religious Services. So, and I know that a lot of questions that I've had about gods, I've come to you about. So what about, I guess, maybe raffling off, I don't know, something that you can have a chunk of time, not necessarily like an hour, if you're willing to give some of your time, about maybe doing like a live spotlight of focusing on one thing, and if people have questions, they can chime in like on a live. If you don't already do that, I don't know. Maybe it's dumb.
It's not dumb at all. That's a really good idea. I do randomly pop in and just make myself available for whoever wants to come hang out, which is usually a cert by you military folk who talk about nothing but military stuff. I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. But it's fun talking to all y'all anyhow. I can probably work out a schedule of a specific time to say, hey, I'll be available during this time if you have questions. Otherwise, I'll be talking about whoever this week. Probably do that.
I'm gonna have so many questions.
Maybe
Yeah,
a spotlight post one day that, goes up on whatever day, doesn't fucking matter. But, what does this deity mean to you? Share your favorite image and your favorite thoughts and your favorite songs that remind you of that deity.
Sarah's been doing a Tears Day post and fixating on Tyr a lot. That gets a lot of interaction for Tyr. So having it switch off to other gods on other days would definitely be an option.
The problem with focusing on the days with the names is then you miss out on anyone who doesn't have a day named after them.
Right. It only goes on those 6. That's what I'm saying. If we picked some other gods to focus on too, then that would work great. Just following the set up an example that she does for Tyr, doing it with other gods as well.
What about, I'm sure there are other gods and goddesses that also share the same first letter name as the days of the week. What if we did, even though it's Thor's Day or Tears Day, another god or goddess whose name begins with T is this one, and here's something about this one.
It's not a bad idea. Yeah, I can definitely play with that and see what we can come up with.
And I don't want to put so much on her plate that, it becomes tedious. It's just an idea.
Wait, oh no,
I was just talking to myself because I forgot I was muted.
Yeah, no, I wasn't meaning for Sarah to have to do it. No, I was saying using Sarah's posts as a frame of reference. So,
right.
What I was attempting to convey to apparently myself was I've noticed, especially with the latest influx of members, is a lot of them are joining us specifically with hope to learn because they are new on the path or looking for guidance. So anything that we can do to help kind of delve into that, gods and goddesses, awesome. Havamal, awesome. Sagas are good, but I feel like from my perspective as a relative newcomer to the heathen path, the sagas are a little heavy for me.
They are.
So while I do definitely want to study them, I don't have a lot of input on them just because, it takes some time for me to kind of soak that in.
Right.
But, we can talk about blots, the holidays that we know of, like all the little tidbits that are really good building blocks when you're starting out on the road.
Have you read through my version of Havamal?
Yes, it's good.
Okay. One of the many projects that I have in the fire right now. I'm doing the same thing with the Voluspa.
Oh, nice. Fabulous.
I need to get back to working on that. It's kind of been put aside. I've got the 2 main projects written wise I've got working right now is the Voluspa in Everyday English and the Study Havamal. The Study Havamal is each stanza has 2 pages with it. And it's delving into 10 different versions side by side to where you can see each version right there next to each other and compare the different versions from the different translators and then a discussion of what the stanza means, what it means to me, the general explanation of what the point is trying to get across for that one, and questions with spaces to write in your own answers as to what do you think they mean when they're talking about this? What do you think this terminology means? And it's actually a study guide, not just here's a couple verses side by side, but actual make you think about it.
Be all over that.
I've posted a couple of them in the Discord channel, and I really need to get back on to work on that one too. That's just a big project to work on with everything else we've got going.
Yeah.
And hopefully that will help with newcomers as well, because it takes all the older versions with the these and thous and such, and then my simplified version, and puts it all right there together and actually delves into the stanza itself so that you can come to your own conclusions of what exactly it means.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
hopefully
there's so much information out there, and in some regard we're kind of lucky in that way, because while a lot has been lost, there is a lot of surviving lore to delve into.
right.
It's kind of like, my experience coming to the heathen path was basically the same as when I first started studying paganism in general and witchcraft. There's so much out there that it's easy to get overwhelmed by
Right.
too much information. So, any way we can distill it, like what you're doing with that study album, I think would be fantastic.
Yep. We lost a Carrie again.
Yeah, she said she's got an early day. She's got to head off.
Yep. And we are just past our hour mark here as well, so we do need to wrap this up. So, does anyone have any other things to discuss? Any final questions or comments, concerns, emotional outbursts? Nope. Okay.
No.
All right, then I motion that we close this meeting for this evening.
Second.
Awesome. Laurel described as second. The May meeting of the Awaken the North Council is hereby drawn to a close at 10:12 p.m. Central Standard Time on the 19th of May. I want to thank you all for coming. Have a good night.
Good night.
All right.
Bye.